it's Bobbi here, Peace, Love, Paws, with Bobbi in the boarding room. And my husband Scott is here, and we are doing some thinking about dogs and crates. We get a lot of questions about, or maybe it's not even questions, we get a lot of inquiries about why should I crate my dog?
Should I? Why shouldn't I? Or
yeah, do we not, right? And then, of course, there's always the, my dog doesn't want to be in a crate. So we kind of need to explain that and give some points of view on that, I think, today, don't you?
sounds good.
Yeah, I think so too. So what is the first thing that you think of whenever, especially because we have so many breeds that we work with, so it's not like it's, our own pets, we're talking about the general population for dogs. What do you think is one of the first things that people should know why they should crate?
First of all, I think for the safety of the pet, if you have to put them in a crate to get them into a safe environment quickly, you don't want to be fighting a dog to try to get it in there. You want it to be comfortable going in there and not be afraid once it's in there. So, they feel comfortable and safe in there, in the crate, but, if you need to put them in there quick. So that's one of the biggest things I think of.
So basically, practicing.
Start at a young age.
Start at a young age.
So that, it just makes a second home for them. Or a lot of times they'll go in there and lay down and sleep if the door's open even, if they feel comfortable enough, so.
Right. I think that for me, we took a class with Pet Sitters International that was phenomenal about natural disasters and man-made disasters. And every disaster you could ever be in, even though we're in Missouri and we just have probably a few of those. And the one thing that resonated with me that almost made me like choke up and cry, it was very emotional, but the conversation was, what if there is a natural disaster, a man-made disaster, or some emergency, and you have to evacuate? And I know Katrina, really, whenever that happened in Katrina, down there in Louisiana, they really set a good foundation for us to be able to take our pets with us. But if you are going to be in a situation where you have to go to a shelter, your pet won't go to a shelter with you. So that pet,
They'll be housed elsewhere. Or
yeah,
in a different building.
housed in a different building, maybe across town, maybe in another town, maybe like Boonville or Hallsville, wherever the space can be. Then naturally, you want your pet to be as comfortable as possible in a crate for a long period of time, possibly around people that that pet's not going to know. And that whole concept to me, it totally blew my mind. I didn't think about that. Of course, this is why we take classes, so we know what's going on and how to prepare for things and how to prepare our pet parents for things. So that's the one that really gets me going about creating versus not creating. So what's another reasoning why we should have our pet parents teach their dogs and train with their dogs to crate?
I would say it does help reduce their energy and stuff and keeps them calm. If they're used to going in there and...
That's like their home, right?
Yeah, it can be their home. It can be their bed, it can be their... But you don't ever want to do it as a punishment. You want to, make them, like I said, feel comfortable, feel safe, feel everything else, and not if you throw them in there, bad dog, and then you throw it in the crate. That's not a good thing, because that gives them a bad, taste in their mouth or a bad connotation. What it leads to.
I always explain to people, if you think about like dogs in Alaska that do the sled dogs, they absolutely love to be pack dogs during the day, but whenever you look at where they stay at night, you can see their bedding and where they stay is all separated from each other.
Yeah.
They can see each other, but they're not together.
Yeah.
They like to have their space. They love to have their space. And I think that's where people think they don't want to have their space, but dogs really do want to have their space.
It's just like people. People want to have their own space sometimes too.
Right.
You don't always want to be in a pack with everybody either. So
So I think this is some good points that we brought. to the table here, and hopefully they'll help some pet parents out with feeling more comfortable about crating.
Definitely. Start them young.
Sorry.